What's going on, guys? I hope you are doing well this evening. It is 7:12 p.m. where I'm currently at. Just wanted to kind of cover some of the charts just to get a better semblance of where we are currently are in the market. All right, so I'm going to go into the daily with the S&P 500. So interesting situation here. We did get a bullish engulfing candle. Not enough to take out the previous bearish engulfing candle. We're consolidating above 4,087 once again. We did have two candle closes below it for a period of time, but it looks like the 21 exponential moving average is still acting as somewhat of a support. Not to be surprised given how thick the money flow is on Market Liberator indicator. So this is a nice little development here. Basically any candles closes above this line here is just good for the market overall. So as long as we're able to sustain above 4,087. Also, you can check out this line here. I'm about to turn the color yellow. As long as this line here holds up as well, we're most likely just heading to the upside. It hasn't been tagged in a long time. Last time a candle closed and tagged it was 38 days ago. So it's more of a slow moving average ascending supply line where people are most likely going to either initiate shorts or support. And since it's acting as support, most likely people will be buying here. These lines do converge at 4,087 here still, so I wouldn't be surprised within the next coming weeks or months we see something like this potentially break to the upside, or conversely, if we see a bearish engulfing candle below it, then it's most likely going to initiate a short opportunity where we're going to retest this support line here. But like I said in the past couple of days, I'm still bullish given what I'm seeing here. I mean, I know there's a lot of negative sentiment out there. There's a lot of heavy hitters spreading as much FUD as they possibly can. Obviously, BUSD is kind of in some hot water at this time, but overall, I do expect the market to sustain an upward trend. Keep in mind we have been in a bullish environment pretty much since October 13th. So I mean, yeah, like if you haven't had profits yet, then it's just best if I were you to kind of just like wait and see for potential signs here, because a lot of people are either taking profits or it's consolidating. So if you're kind of just entering a fresh long, you're kind of in a choppy zone. So you do want to see some supports held up consistently. It's not an ideal situation given that we're still below all major bear candles. Realistically, things wouldn't start getting bullish again until we see a break pretty much above 4,180 given the S&P 500. But yeah, that's pretty much where the S&P 500 is on the daily perspective. Now if I go to the 4-hour perspective, just wanted to zoom in a little bit more. We do kind of have this resistance line here that I just want you guys to be aware of. We're about to tag it one more time here. Once this particular line breaks on the 4-hour time frame, if it does end up breaking to the upside, then yes, I would most likely recommend myself to initiate a new long, but we do not have a candle close above it just yet, so yeah. All right, so I'm going to be moving on to Bitcoin. Well, actually, I hardly do this, but I'm just going to look at Bitcoin dominance really quick. So Bitcoin dominance looks really interesting to me. For a while, essentially, I like to look at this chart. It's like, okay, what's a better investment? Should I be investing in altcoins or should I be investing in Bitcoin? When this goes down, alts are a better opportunity. When this goes up, Bitcoin is a better opportunity. So we had some significant developments in the past couple days. Given what I'm seeing here, we were kind of in this channel here. Let me exemplify that right here. Okay, we were kind of like in this channel for some time, and recently price broke above it. So as you can see here, we do have a significant cross on a 4-hour time frame, and since then it's been going up. So from my perspective, this is a really good time to just be focusing on Bitcoin as opposed to, like, venturing into riskier alts. So yeah, that's kind of like where my mindset is regarding the Bitcoin and Ethereum scenario. And as you can see here, to help validate that scenario, I've had this ETH to BTC pattern breakout for some time. We did initiate a break out of this triangle pattern, which is ultimately bearish. Now, so far we've created a high, then we've created a lower low right here. So in that time frame, yeah, it's just been better to invest in Bitcoin as opposed to Ethereum. Now we did have some one-off we did have a pump here, which is pretty substantial. We had pretty much almost a 5% pump versus Bitcoin if you were invested into Ethereum, but that time is gone. We did get a bearish cross here within the 4-hour time frame, so that is no longer a play. It's best really to be looking at Ethereum as more so a secondary player to Bitcoin in this particular juncture. Alright, so now I'm going to go to Bitcoin itself here. Alright, so what exactly am I seeing on Bitcoin? Alright, so I'm going to zone in here. The exponential moving averages are still bearish. We have developed resistance here, top side at 22K. We are kind of in this zone here still. We're hovering above it, but we may see an instance where we wick to the downside. I still think we might have a little bit more to go due to what I'm seeing here. I could be wrong actually, but I mean, we just freshly turned down. Momentum now is showing somewhat of a trigger wave actually. This is an interesting development to literally happening right now. 2 hours left, 2 hours and 40 minutes left with candle closes needed to confirm this buy signal here. So we did have a divergence a couple days ago. That's a good sign. Ultimately, we have been kind of wicking to the downside a little bit more. What's interesting to me is we got a high and then we got a low candle close. So we got a high and a low. So let me change that color and change the extension. And I just wanted to show you something that's more conducive to bullish price action. We got a low, then we got a high. So we're seeing divergences on the momentum oscillators with price action. So that's interesting to me. This actually is pretty bullish, even if it's just going to be a short-term pump to the upside to then ultimately print a lower high, which I don't like seeing lines converge how they are, or very close together, sorry. So this area to me is strong resistance, very, very, very strong resistance here, given where I'm seeing two lines converge right here on the 4-hour time frame. So that's something to take in consideration. Also the 786 is right here with another line, so we do have a significant resistance line right here. So even if we were to pump to the upside, I would suspect a lot of turbulence in this zone, and if this were to break, then turbulence in this zone. But so far, what I'm seeing here is the Bollinger Bands are starting to tighten up a little bit more to get a better understanding of support and resistance. So I like to see the Bollinger Bands. Let me turn off that indicator on and off. See that? The flashing indicator, that's Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands, they help me classify dynamic support and resistance given price action depending on what time frame you're using. So as you can see, top side resistance is showing up at 22.435, and then bottom support is at 21.283 at this time. Given what I'm seeing here with the divergence kind of developing and a potential buy signal happening on Market Liberator, When I'm more so thinking to open up swing long positions as opposed to um, opening fresh shorts. You want a long support in short resistance, not the other way around. Okay, so if you wanted a short, you wanted it to be around here when you got confirmation of multiple things. So what are ideal times to short? Now this isn't financial advice, but from what I'm showing you in regards to my indicators, you want to short when price breaks above the Bollinger Bands. You see, the way that Bollinger Bands work is that 95% of price action happens within the Bollinger Bands. So when you see price outside of the Bollinger Bands, that is a better opportunity to do a mean reversion attempt. What's mean reversion? Mean reversion just means that the average the price will eventually go back to where the averages are. So you can say take a short around here, and you can wait until price hits the averages, the exponential moving averages, or you wait until it goes to more significant support zones within the Bollinger Band. So that's really up to you. I personally like the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame, the 1-hour time frame. In my particular case, I like the 37-minute time frame as well, more short-term type of scenarios, but short-term is like days. You're in a position for days as opposed to weeks or whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much where um, I'm seeing Bitcoin kind of go. If you go to lower term time frames, we did get a cross here. We're getting short-term time frames match up with the 4-hour time frame. So we did get a bullish engulfing candle right after this confirmed cross. Now price is trying to retest these exponential moving averages as potential support. So that's kind of happening in real time. Now, if you zoom in on the 37-minute time frame, we are seeing a sell signal, so there's most likely a better opportunity to get it at a better price. So let me draw this out for you. We got a momentum wave come down, so if we can kind of create a slightly higher wave than the previous wave right here, that would be an ideal scenario to take a long position. But at this time, money flow is pointing to the downside. Money flow is this wave right here. It's pointing to the downside. The volume weighted average price, which is this yellow line, is crossing to the zero line, which is bearish. Also, when that happens, we do get a sell signal right here. So there's a lot of things kind of pointing to consolidation prior to any moves to the upside. But now keep in mind that the bar here, this red dot zone turned into a blue dot not too long ago, pretty much right around here, confirming that we might be sustaining more to the upside. But as long as we have higher lows printed and higher highs printed, then that's a good time to be looking for entry positions in the long perspective. Now, if you get the counter argument to that, then it's a better time to look for shorts. But yeah, given that the lines just kind of confirmed across, I'm more leaning towards bullishness, but also I do like to wait for the market to open on the following day. I prefer market opens as opposed to just randomly going in on a night time, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, going to the 4-hour, we did talk in regarding the 4-hour time frame. So precursor to that is the 2-hour. So what's happening on the 2-hour? 2-hour, we actually have a bullish divergence right here. So the last bullish divergence, let me show you what happened when a bullish divergence was confirmed. At the dot here, we did come up all the way to candle close. We had 1.5%. Let me do that one more time because my magnet tool was obstructing that, but as we went all the way high as 0.23%, which is pretty good for the slowest moving average asset in crypto. So yeah, so far it's looking pretty good. Money flow is actually, pointing to the upside on the 2-hour, and what's really interesting here is we have a low, then we have a higher low. So that's a good sign for me in conjunction with a bullish divergence. So yeah, I'm definitely leaning more bullish than bearish at this time. The weekend was pretty brutal. And I want to show you something really quick on Ethereum. Yeah, so Ethereum on the weekend, there was kind of like this falling wedge that did present itself. Um, the Bollinger Bands were rather tight, and we did kind of get some instances of a bearish divergence right here. The 37-minute time frame did have that bearish divergence. It was pretty clear. I think this was during the Super Bowl. And it was funny because the Super Bowl historically has been bullish for the market. There was only two other Super Bowls like in the past like 15 years where the market ended bearish. And guess what? Of course, this year it ended bearish. So yeah. Um, Overall, I was kind of expecting an eventual bounce at the 0.618 here, and we did end up getting that. Once we broke out of this channel here, um, I was kind of expecting lower prices. We did kind of get a little bit of a fake out price pump to the upside, but ultimately did print a lower high, and we did get some waiting money flow. You see, when bullish money flow creates lower highs and lower lows, I get concerned here. So let me turn the lines a different color. Yeah, so as you can see, once money flow starts printing lower highs, I get really concerned for just momentum price. Because like let me zoom in on price so you can see exactly what happened. So we had that low confirmation, and we had a bearish engulfing candle close below the simple moving average, the exponential moving averages right here. So when that happened, let me just zoom out here. We had significant bearish instances. So after huge rallies, which we had significant, come on data, there we go. We had a significant rally, and since then we're going sideways. So usually what happens, we have a significant massive pump, then we go sideways for a while, then we dump. So that's kind of like in the instance that we're in. And conversely, you can have like a downward trend and then you could go sideways for some time and then you have a rip to the upside. So we're kind of like, in my opinion, still up more so to the downside, and we're closer to the consolidation phase though during this downward move, in my opinion, given of what we're seeing with the divergences. But okay, so now you saw the negative action, right, of when bullish momentum flips to bearish momentum. Now let's zoom into today's um, scenario. So right now, during the weekend, we had a pretty decent sell-off. But now, as you can see, with the new money flow that's coming in on the Monday, it's not as strong as it was. So as long as this next wave to the downside prints lower than this one, higher, I'm sorry, than this last wave, then that's what I'm going to be waiting for. I'm going to be waiting for a better opportune time to get in on that wave, preferably with a divergence of some kind. But yeah, um, so far so decent. We had like a little scalp opportunity right here. I was kind of hoping when we had this candle close right around here, I was hoping for price action to go retest the 786, which that unfortunately never happened. In this instance, we did get the divergence right here, which was unfortunate. We had the sell signal right there, and since then it's just been going down. But on a positive note, we did get a back test to the 0.618. This is an opportunity for the bulls to kind of reset prices and then kind of continue moving to the upside. But if we do see hourly candle closes below the 0.618, which is below 1,471, we're most likely going to be coming all the way down to the 0.382 area, which is 1,318. All right, so that's pretty much my assessment on Ethereum. So I'm going to go with Litecoin and BTC just because I love Litecoin and BTC. So going back to Bitcoin dominance, going back to the Bitcoin dominance chart, what I had spoken about it right at this time, it's just more advantageous for investment in Bitcoin as opposed to alts. Even the best charts against Bitcoin are seeing moves to the downside. So a couple of days ago, we had a rip to the upside, and a bunch of sell orders started triggering around here. We had this bearish candle. We can call it a gravestone doji. Gravestone dojis are actually not are pretty bearish instances. So if price cannot close above the wick, which is at 0.004613, we're most likely going to see some downside. And since then, guess what we have? So what's rather interesting, given what I'm seeing on the Bollinger Bands, the Bollinger Band support line is lining up perfectly with the 0.003754 line, which I have been calculating as like pretty strong support. Now we did tap the top side here at 0.0046. Now it's not over for the bulls by no means, as long as we have candle closes above this area right here on the daily perspective. Let me get that for you right there. Pretty much 0.0038. We're still very much bullish. We are kind of creating a scenario on lower term time frames of a gradual move here. So if I were to calculate, let me get that magnet candle right there. Okay, and pretty much right here. Yeah, we do have some movement. Yeah, there you go. Let me get that dashed. Alright, so we're kind of seeing some strong resistance here. So what I'm kind of curious to see, we're most likely going to be seeing either a higher low printed and then a break, back test, and continuation, or we are going to see this gradual move to the downside. Now what I don't like seeing, when you have a triangle pattern, which in this instance we do, when we have a triangle pattern with a flat bottom, that is bearish. That's something that you do not want to see. So these triangle patterns, they do predominantly lean bearish, which is unfortunate. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to break to the downside, by no means, but it is something I am keenly aware of. I did take some Litecoin profit and moved it into BTC just to be safe, because of this instance. I mean, it could take till, mid-April till we find the resolution of this particular pattern. So I don't want to be waiting around that long. So I did take some chips off the table. I did convert some of my Litecoin into Bitcoin just to be safe. Because going back to the dominance chart, dominance is looking strong. Dominance is starting to look way more strong than it previously was in the past. Last time we had an instance like this, we just never looked back. We consolidated for a little bit, and now we have an opportunity to continue to the upside again. So that's kind of where I'm at here. We did break out of this channel. We didn't backtest this area as support, so you could realistically wait until this area is backtested, and if price decides to continue moving forward from that time, then yeah, that would be an ideal position to sell more Litecoin into Bitcoin. So that could happen in the future. Usually, once you break out of a significant resistance, you pump to the upside, of course, but then you eventually you try to tag it again and flip it as from resistance to support. So that's kind of where my mind is at. But anyway, yeah, I'm also gonna look at quant. I've been a quant cheerleader for some time, and I just wanted to also bring that up. Pretty much, Bitcoin is doing very well against all altcoin pairs, given what dominance is showing. So my thesis has been dollar cost averaging into quant, and given the technical analysis of what I'm seeing, we probably have a little bit more to go. I've been saying this for weeks now. I'm personally waiting for the 0.382 to get tagged in order to start adding to my position. We are seeing some attempts here of support as well, given of what we saw right after the bull run here. We did get this line here at the 0.32 broken. Once that was broken, we just went to the upside and started ripping and, you know, establishing some support lines here, hence why I do have this box area. And as you can see, every time this area got tagged, we were seeing some buy signal attempts, but now we're back in the same position here. If this line does get broken, we're most likely going to head to the 0.32 area. So it's something I'm keeping my eye on. What's rather interesting, QNT and BTC, is the money flow and the momentum waves. So we're seeing multiple things going well for the bulls, the quant bulls. So money flow pointing to the upside, pretty much we have that. And also the waves are creating a low and then a higher low. So I feel pretty confident about dollar cost averaging into this one. Not financial advice, but this is just what I've been thinking of doing. Yeah, it just makes me that much more confident in accumulating this one, because usually once we have significant negative momentum money flow waves to the downside, we do get rips to the upside. So that's kind of like where my mentality is at. Also, the Bollinger Bands have been tight for some time. That usually indicates an intense move either to the upside or to the downside. At this case, given what I'm seeing with momentum waves and what the money flow is telling me, I'm leaning more bullish than I am bearish. So that's kind of where I'm going to leave that off here for the time being. But anyway, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. If you're still here, I appreciate you. Just wanted to also say that, you know, we did tag the bottom of this channel here. And yeah, you know, as long as we're in this channel, I'm expecting, you know, resistance to the top side until we break this area of resistance. I'm going to be, you know, holding off on any significant moves. But yeah, I mean, these are, you know, bullish structures. You know, descending channels are bullish structures. Obviously, we have to kind of wait for price to play out within this channel here, and then ultimately we could then see that break. When I see that break and confirm support flip, then I feel much better moving forward on that. But anyway, have a great rest of the night. Take care. Bye-bye.